All right, next on the list is the fight that inspired me to make this list. With number 21, we have Cornelius Boza Edwards versus Rafael Limon, which took place on March 8th, 1981. Now, this fight is the first of a selection of fights from what I call the Ferocious Five, even though it's usually referred to as the Ferocious Four, but I'll explain a little bit more on that. This group of fighters is the fighters that took over that junior lightweight division after Alexis Arguello moved up in the early 80s. And this is both of these guys, Cornelia Boza Edwards in the white trunks, Rafael Limon in the black trunks. You also have Bobby Chacon, Emmanuel Navarrete, and the other guy that I like to include, Chun Il Choi. And these fighters had literally some of the greatest fights of all time. All five of these men were involved in all-out brawls, wars, technical master classes, just everything in between, just great boxing from some of the most underrated fighters I've ever seen. But in this fight in particular, we have two southpaws battling each other. You have the more boxing focused approach of Boza Edwards versus the weird southpaw, just throwing a lot of hooks style that Rafael Limon has that kind of makes him look like he doesn't know what he's doing. And then it just works because he's tough. But this starts as a bit more of a traditional boxing matches, hence why it's not as high as the other fights in this series. But it's definitely a great introduction to it. It's not insane to follow. You can follow it and tell what's going on without just being overwhelmed by all of it. But Boza Edwards actually knocks down Rafael Limon in the fifth round. But Limon, as always, is one of the toughest people to ever walk this planet. So he starts dragging Boza Edwards into these long exchanges and just starts overtaking him with body shots and just makes the fight a lot closer than it had any right to be. If you're just going from a technical aspect, Boza Edwards was just supposed to run over him, but Rafael Limon never was one to just back down, and this just made for an overall great fight.